I just wanted to make a quick video showing off my Blu-ray collection. And as I've been trying to do more YouTube. I have checked out other people's videos online, and I just love seeing their analog collections of like movies or vinyl, and I've been slowly wanting to expand mine more. And this is how I usually keep my film stored, just up in my closet. Yeah, so it's not the prettiest, so I gotta move it all over to my bed. And I'm just shooting this on an iPhone since my friend is currently borrowing my camera. So let's start at the beginning. I have them in pretty much alphabetical order. So we're starting off with Kino, the Angry Video Game Nerd movie. I should probably make a video on this on its own. It has been a while since I've seen it. I do have thoughts on it, but say what you will about James, the Angry Video Game Nerd movie. But he went out and he made a movie, and he made it with love and as best as he could. American Sniper, don't get me started on that. Avatar, I love Last Airbender. I love the series. Perfect series, what else could be said? Boys in the Hood, great film. Oh, Band of Brothers, incredible series. I love it. Come and see. It's one of those films that just changes your outlook, I guess, on what a war film can and should be. Like, I think this is a must-see. Dances with Wolves. Oh, I love Dances with Wolves. It is pretty white saviory, but it is a beautiful representation, though, of the Native Americans. I forgot the tribes. I sound very insensitive right now, but whatever. It's a great film. Dark Knight trilogy. This is the Batman I grew up on, the Batman I love. I love The Dark Knight. One of my favorite films ever. Fires on the Plain. It's alright movie from what I remember. It's been a while. Basically Japanese soldier, I think it's in the Philippines. I mean, they're defeated, but they still refuse to surrender, and it's just like those final days. The Dollars trilogy. Fistful of Dollars, Good, Bad, Ugly, and For a Few Dollars More. Okay, so this one might get me hate, but I think A Fistful of Dollars is the good version of Yojimbo. I'll get to Yojimbo. But I do love Fistful of Dollars and For a Few Dollars More, but oh my god. Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. One of my all-time favorite movies. I think one of the best movies ever made. What can I say? I'm just a classic film bro. So next I have my Ghibli section. A goal of mine is to own every single Ghibli movie at one point. So right now, I should probably just make a video on this on its own, but I do have all the Miyazakis. I have the old Miyazaki collection back when this was through Disney. I have some Takahata, Grave of the Fireflies and Only Yesterday. Well, Grave of the Fireflies, again, like, come and see. It's one of those films. It was one of the first anime movies I watched. And when I watched it, I'm like, oh, anime can be a real medium for storytelling. Because before this, I had seen Naruto, part 1. And before that, my knowledge of anime was, like, non-existent. So I watched Grave of the Fireflies, and it just changes your perspective on not only what anime, but what cinema and movies in general can do when they tackle these subject matters like war. Only Yesterday. I love Takahata. What can I say? I think I have these in release order now that I think about it. But yeah, beautiful movie about growing up and nostalgia and discovering who you really are. I love it. Whisper of the Heart, same thing. It's probably my favorite Ghibli movie now that I think about it, just ever. I just love the nonchalantness of it, and Suzuki just trying to find herself as a middle school teenage girl who's trying to be an artist and trying to fit in, and she feels like an imposter. It's just a beautiful movie. Tales from Earthsea. You know, it's been a while since I've seen it. I do need to rewatch it. I have read some Ursula Le Guin. I want to read all of her Earthsea books. I've read about 3 of them, I think. Yeah, her books are pretty different from this movie in terms of like tone and theme. And her fantasy world is a lot more ethnically diverse. And Tales from Earthsea is just a lot of white people. You know, very old school, classical fantasy, very basic story, very clear-cut good and evil, which is absolutely not what Earthsea is about. But I do love the music in it. I love the art style, the animation. Like, come on. It's Ghibli. That's a given, especially in such a fantasy setting, and I am a sucker for fantasy. From Up on Poppy Hill, I'm pretty mixed on. It's alright. I did do a video on it earlier. Tales of Princess Kaguya. So this, I think, is the first ever anime movie I ever watched. And set me on this path to watching all the Ghibli movies. It is a beautiful film. The animation, the art style, the music, the atmosphere, the story. Like, I don't know how else to describe it. It's just, I think it's perfect. It's one of Takahata's best. And this is why I think, like, I love all the Miyazaki movies, but I think Takahata is the better filmmaker of the two. And Boy and the Heron, I love Boy and the Heron. It did take me a few watches for it to click, but it is a beautiful movie. I love the music. It's basically Miyazaki's exploration of grief and moving on from that. That's what I got out of it. It is a weird movie. Next up is the 2015 Godzilla. I got that when it came out. You know, it's a pretty good movie. When you watch it back, knowing Godzilla's only in it for like 10 minutes, you realize Godzilla in this film is presented more as, say, a man-made force of nature. Like, I don't know how to explain it. They're constantly, like, the tension is just crazy high throughout the entire film, because there's this unknown monster that's just coming, and I think it's a very effective film. And then we do get the monsters smackdown at the end. Good Morning, Yasujiro Ozu. I have not watched it. I do plan on watching it. Hacksaw Ridge is pretty good. I like it. It's not perfect. Halloween, one of the few horror films I actually do like. And what can I say that hasn't been said already? It pretty much established the slasher genre, and it is a very well-made, suspenseful film. I love the music. What else can I say? The Hobbit. I am a Hobbit defender, and they're not perfect movies by any means. Especially the third one. The third one was in all the problems of splitting the films into three. Like, really rears its head. Like, the third one is just overly long. It's just bloated. The action is just very cartoony and unbelievable, especially compared to Lord of the Rings. But 1 and 2, I love. Again, I just love the mood, the atmosphere, the vibe, the music. And it is, these first two, like, especially number 2, I feel like with Desolation of Smaug, The Hobbit found its identity. And it's like, okay, now this is a film about the dwarves, the dwarf story. And with that, I just love Lake Town and Erebor and the music that comes with that. So yeah, I do not hate The Hobbit. I genuinely love them, even if they're not perfect. Indiana Jones, the Incomplete Adventures. I think that's, yeah, the box set's called The Complete Adventures, but it does not have number 5, and I probably won't get number 5. And yeah, okay, 1, 2, and 3, great films. Especially, I think Last Crusade is the best one. And again, I really see no problems with Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Like, sure, the monkey thing is dumb, but really, it's a fun action-adventure movie, and it feels, when it ends, it feels like a proper ending send-off to Indiana Jones. Whereas Dial of Destiny, it just felt tired. The movie itself felt old and run down, and it's just so boring, and the ending was so lackluster. Dial of Destiny was probably one of my biggest disappointments ever. And next we have In This Corner of the World. Again, a beautiful, beautiful film, telling the story of, I forget her name, but basically she's just trying to live her life in the countryside outside of Hiroshima during World War II, and you should watch it. It's a great film. Another great film, Iron Claw. So I did grow up watching wrestling, WWE, so I knew about the Von Erich story, and this is a beautiful, like, very gut-wrenching film. It's funny, I had always wanted to do a Von Erich movie, and now I can't. Even in college, I think I wrote outlines for one. Beautiful film. The Human Condition. The scale of this film is just massive. It's a Japanese war epic from the 50s. And again, it is an incredible film. Just seeing, I think his name's Kaji, he's very anti-war, very much a pacifist, and just seeing him having to live through war-torn China during World War II. Like, this is an incredible film. Must watch. Like, really, it does not hold its punches with its criticism towards Imperial Japan and what it did during the war, which is why I think it's an incredible film. Interstellar, love it. Love this movie so much. I've only seen it twice. Once when it came out, and then last year when it was re-released. So this Blu-ray is more like for decoration. I feel like if I watch it more often, it'll ruin the magic. Because I've seen it only on the big screen, and last year was on 70mm, and oh my god, it looked beautiful at the AMC's Universal City Walk IMAX screen, which I've heard is Nolan's favorite IMAX screen. I'm not entirely sure, but that's what I've heard. Kick-ass, fun, funny, great film. Knowing? Yeah, I don't really remember much about this. It's alright, I'm sure it's fine. But really, so the reason I have Knowing is because I originally got a PS3 for Christmas back in, like, I think it was like 2009. Yeah, it must have been 2009, because that's when Modern Warfare 2 came out. And since I got a PS3, I figured, oh, I should start getting Blu-ray movies. So I think Knowing is one of like the first ever Blu-ray films I've owned, and little old me bought it, and I probably only seen it once. La Bamba, great film. Basically a biopic of Richie Valens, and I love his music. And this is it is a pretty by the numbers biopic, but great film, great music, and very incredibly tragic life story. La La Land, I do love La La Land. You'd be surprised, living in LA, I've met more La La Land haters than La La Land enjoyers, but it is a great film. What can I say? Damien Chazelle knows how to make a movie. And Land Before Time, beautiful, beautiful movie. I grew up watching this as a kid, so I've seen this movie a million times. It is such a contrast to Disney because the film is tonally dark, but also the art style and animation is just like visibly a lot more grittier, even though there's like 14 sequels and all of them look way more cartoony in Disney. But this first film, I love it. Perfect. Lord of the Rings. This will probably need its own video eventually, but these are like my favorite movies ever. I think these are like the best movies ever made. And I did just see them this past weekend on the big screen with the 25th anniversary re-release. So they're still very fresh in my mind. So I got these extended editions, I think back in 2013 at Costco. And I've probably seen them like a million times at this point. And I've only seen the extended editions. I think I've seen the theatricals just like once or twice when I first saw the movies. I do want to buy, eventually, theatrical Blu-ray of The Lord of the Rings, just like if I want to introduce friends to the movies, because you don't want to introduce people with the extendeds. It's just not a good idea, in my opinion. Next is Lost City of Z. I don't know why I have it. I watched it once. It's fine. It's a great movie. It's passable. Nosferatu, the Herzog Nosferatu. I do want to get the original, I think 1929, and the Robert Eggers one eventually, but I think this is my favorite version of Nosferatu. It's just so much darker and so much more, I don't know, moodier, is that the right word? But Nosferatu, or Count Orlok himself, is much more of a tragic character in this one, and I just love more depressive state of things in this film. Because in the original, that movie, I'm gonna be honest, now it is a hard watch. It's like an hour and 40 minutes. That one's all atmosphere. And the newer one is a lot more faster paced and much more vampire huntery. And I love the new one, there's nothing wrong with that, but I think this one is the best of the three. Now next is The Pacific. Probably the best depiction, I think, of World War II, the Pacific War. I do prefer this over Band of Brothers. It just goes places. Band of Brothers doesn't. It sticks with you. Like no other depiction of war has, like, I guess, shaken me as much as the Pacific. I think Generation Kill is another one that's really stuck with me. And next I have Pirates of the Caribbean 1 through 4. What can I say? I grew up watching these movies. I love them as a kid. My favorite's the third one. I know, dumb. It is overly long, overly jam-packed, but that final battle, just so much stuff is happening in the music. Oh my. At World's End has some of the most beautiful music by Hans Zimmer. Like, he really went all out for Pirates #3, which is crazy when you think about it. Effects-wise, they hold up really well. Like, they shot most of all of them on location, which is why they look so good. So next I have The Raid and The Raid 2. They're great action movies, especially the first one. I feel like the second one was a lot more story I didn't care about over action. But they're fun movies. Now I have Rambo 1 till 3. I love First Blood. I do want to get Rambo 4 eventually. I think that's the best of the 5. I did not like Rambo 5, but Rambo 2 and Rambo 3, they're dumb fun. But First Blood, great movie. Rocky. It's been a while since I've watched the Rocky movies, so I do want to get to these eventually. And I've only seen Rockies 1 through 6. I have not seen any of the Creed movies, but I do want to revisit. But Rocky 1, incredible film. Saving Private Ryan. Again, what else can I say that hasn't been said? This is such an accurate portrayal of combat and really set the bar high for how combat should be portrayed. And the story itself is compelling. I know people are like, oh, it's only the first 20 minutes. Like, no, the story, you're engrossed, you love the characters, and even the battle at the end is from what I've read, an accurate depiction of close quarters combat. It does get pretty Hollywoody at times, and it is kind of pro-war at the end, but great film. And another Spielberg, Schindler's List. Again, beautiful, incredible film, horrifying depiction of the Holocaust, and I think it's probably one of Spielberg's best. Next is Seven Samurai. I bought this years ago, and I still have not gotten to it. I feel like a fraud. I feel so ashamed I haven't watched this. It is 4 hours, and I'm not sure if this one even has the intermission since it's the Blu-ray. I think I have seen, like, the New Beverly Theater nearby has done screenings of it, I think, but those seats are awful. I cannot sit in them for 4 hours. So next up is Star Wars Episode 3 on DVD. This is probably one of the earlier films I've ever gotten as a kid. Like, this is from 2005, I'm pretty sure. And it's just been sitting on my shelf up there, like, forever. And yeah, Revenge of the Sith, it's the best of the prequels by default. I am not a prequel lover, kinda. Again, I should probably make a video on that, but I was really curious about the quality on this. Cause like now I'm just so used to Blu-ray and streaming 1080p, so I popped it in and it didn't look that bad. Like, obviously it wasn't like crystal clear HD. Like, it definitely looked like 480p upscaled to my TV. But it looked kind of like if Netflix was having a pretty bad connection and got kind of pixely. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but it wasn't that bad. And next I have Force Awakens. Again, I have thoughts. At the time, Force Awakens was fine. Like, it was passable. It was a good Star Wars movie. In hindsight, it should have been more. Because ultimately, this is the film that doomed the sequel trilogy. They had no real plan, no real story. And so they started it off with just a boring, generic rehash of what we've already seen. And there's just really nothing interesting to build on top of that. And this might get me hate, but Rian Johnson, he at least tried. He tried to make Last Jedi interesting. And Last Jedi, I think, is the best of the three. And I find it funny how that's the one everybody hates. Terminator Salvation. Again, I was getting a PS3, was like, oh, Blu-ray movies, Terminator Salvation. And it's been a while since I've seen the first couple of Terminator movies. Terminator 1 and 2 are great. I think Terminator 2 is probably the best action movie ever made. But you gotta give them credit that they tried something new. They're like, all right, now let's make a movie during the war. I have not seen it in a while, but I do remember this movie being very boring and uninteresting. Thin Red Line on Criterion. I think this is Malick's best film. It is a very beautiful depiction of, I guess, war. It's not that kind of war movie where it's like there's blood and, you know, lots of action and people dying left and right. Like, obviously, it is a war movie, so there is people dying left and right in battle scenes, but this one focuses more on, like, the nature between the beauty of nature, I guess, and, I guess, Whit's inner peace and just the reality of his environment, being in a war zone. And I think this is probably my favorite war film ever. Like, I don't know how else to explain it. I'm not a film critic or essayist or anything like that. So, definitely check this one out. Next, I have War Horse on DVD again. I don't know why. This is from like 2011, I think. Pretty sure my Blu-ray collection had a few films at that point. So I don't know why I got this on DVD. But again, it's been a while since I've seen this. I do need to watch it, but I do remember really liking it. It is Spielberg after all. And last, I have Yojimbo. I like Yojimbo, I really do, but I just love Fistful of Dollars more. I feel like it's Yojimbo, but perfected. I don't know what else to say. Like, it is a good movie. Like, I do love Yojimbo, but I love Fistful of Dollars more. That's the one I've seen more. It's the one I kind of grew up on. But I do want to watch me some more Akira Kurosawa. So yeah, that's my collection. It is pretty small, and I do want to get a proper shelf to put it on. Once I get, I don't know, more space in this room, more money. There was a point in time when I just stopped buying Blu-rays because it was just getting a lot for like the small shelf space I have, both here in this apartment and back when I lived with my parents. But like, since starting this YouTube channel and seeing other people's analog collections, it's kind of made me want to collect more, I guess, especially like more vinyl and more books. In terms of movies, I only, especially now, like there's definitely older stuff in here, but I only want to buy stuff I will actually watch. Because I've seen other people's Blu-ray movies, and they have the most randomest movies ever. And I'm like, well, when are you going to watch that? Like, why are you going to watch that? And the quality is just so much more nicer than Netflix. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed going through my Blu-ray collection. I do want to make another kind of small update to my vinyl collection. maybe do a book collection. And you kind of peeked at my video game collection, but it's tiny. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed.